So we've just arrived with Dr. Hassiatu, who's in charge of all the medical operations here with Islamic Relief in this part of Niger. We are in the middle of absolutely nowhere. We've gone past some villages here and there. Some of the folks who have come here have had to travel not for hours but for days. It's a health center during the normal days, but on a Thursday every week today, it acts as a supplementary nutrition center, in that children who are suffering from moderate malnutrition come here, they are measured up, weighed, and if they fit the criterion, they are given a week's worth of high nutritional content, high calorific content to take away for the week. Those that are severely malnourished are then referred on to hospital. We're going to go and see just a bit of what's going on. It's a bit intense over there, so let's see. To summarize basically what we've just been hearing here, we have a severely ill and malnourished child. It's quite a desperate situation, to be honest. The mother wants to refer the child to the hospital because the center here that Islamic Relief are working at cannot handle that level of malnutrition. She has 3 children here. 2 of them are severely malnourished. The small one has malaria and anemia at the same time, and a very severe dermatitis or dermal infection. We've just realized that the situation is a lot more difficult than we initially thought. The 2 young children are severely malnourished and have to be admitted into hospital immediately, as per what the doctors here have said. The reason that she can't do it is because the Niger government gives free medical treatment to those who are under 5, but those who are over 5 will not receive it for free. The child, the older one, is 6, and the mother is also suffering from malaria, and she doesn't have the energy to move. She's actually been sitting here since last night. It's not just simple. It's not just a simple case where a mother turns up with a child and because they're so ill and they have to go to another hospital, they can just go. Almost always, the mother is also severely ill, and the real problem is that there's a cost involved for the entering of such a hospital with the mother. That cost is being weighed up against the benefit of having food for that same sum of money, and that food then being used to keep the other children alive. So it's just like a sick lottery of who dies and who gets to live, all over $13, $15, $100 over money. It's a lottery over who gets to live and who gets to die. How that's happening in our time, I find it very difficult to say. You'll remember from a few days back that we saw a lady who had the incredibly sick child with malaria and anemia at the Center for Moderately Malnourished Children. It was a very touching story, something that we all of our team wanted to try and follow up and find out what had happened after one of the doctors very kindly agreed to help her get to hospital. We've been able to track them down so far. It's been a pretty difficult day doing that. It's taken a good couple of hours. We know we've come to the right place because this shirt here is a shirt that was donated to her by one of the doctors, but they don't seem to be here. Can you bring them back? If you can try. If you can try. We've been able to find the father of the very sick child that we saw earlier on, and we want to try and find out a little bit more about him and his situation and exactly what's going on with the children and their daily struggle really to survive.
So frankly, the real reason why they didn't bring the child to the hospital to the doctor is the lack of money. Really, it's the lack of money.
How did he make the decision that he will not take the child to the hospital and use the money instead for what we now know as food?
Bunu harayno. Matino bite. Irsinda na kulu koya.
Yan aram bafune ko chao.
Ir bafune no.
He said that really it's the hunger. They don't have anything to eat. That's why they changed the decision. So they don't know how to do. Eating or taking the child to the hospital, and they have chosen they have chosen the money, they have put the money on food because they have nothing to eat. And I asked him whether they have to choose between the death of the children, the child, or their survival. He said, okay, their survival and the health of the child, both of them.
And this is little Medina, who was the focus of our attention. A couple of days ago, the child was really, really sick. We've been speaking to the father, and to be honest, you've seen some of that conversation. It's a very difficult thing to try and understand, but then in a perverse way, it makes sense. They were given money to take the child to emergency treatment, which is what the child needed upon the doctor's orders, but they could not afford to put the rest of the family at risk. Here was an opportunity to use that money to buy food for the rest of the family. And they had to take that choice. They had to put the interests of the majority against the one child. The key thing for us to realize is that no one should be able or should be put through that situation. No one should be having to ask themselves that question or make that decision. It shouldn't happen. I've just taken a quick moment to explain to you how happy we're all feeling that we've seen this story all the way through. We've found essentially a very happy ending to what was looking a few days ago as a very bleak situation. Medina was very, very ill. They took a gamble. They took the money that was meant to be for her care and they bought food instead, for the simple reason it was that they're starving. They couldn't risk putting the rest of the children against just one child, and that shouldn't happen. But this time they were fortunate. But we don't know if that's going to happen again. We don't know if they're going to be so lucky again. There are thousands of other families that are facing that exact question every single day. They shouldn't have to be. And by your support, Islamic Relief can make sure that they will not have to be faced with such a terrible decision. Islamic Relief are providing the doctors and the nurses and the staff to staff these centers, giving nourishment, giving food, the food distribution program, giving these farmers who can't, and they want to farm, they want to be able to use their own crops, but they don't have enough rain, their conditions are too bad. Islamic Relief is making sure that such food distribution is going ahead. You can really help make a difference.